Alright folks, so today is I think December 29th, 2019. So by the time you see this footage, many months might have passed already. And I just wanted to start well, on a new project I've had for a while. So we're here at the end. This is usually where I pack my van, and here we have a few sheds. We have the pallet shed, which I made years ago with this shed that was here, and we've our wood shed here. And well, let me flip the camera. All right, so it's a big fine shed. See if I can get a good angle, but it's got quite a bit of storage. So over the last 5 days already, and I didn't show that or share it with anyone really, but this was full with just planks, just rotten planks and twigs and bits of wood that have been trees and just stuff that I've been collecting here. So whenever I had a piece of wood, I would literally just chuck it here and then hopefully to be cut at some point. But it was to the point where it was literally up to here and I couldn't fit anymore. So I spent about 5 days just cutting down all this wood. I still have a few pieces that I might keep. I like these this wood. It's actually nice and solid, and I want to see if I can make something with it. These pieces of so what is this, 1 by 2 or something like that. I want to make a new horse track with it, so I might keep that. This I'm going to use as a delimiter for grass and stuff like that. And these cupboards I can't bear to throw away. These were a very old kitchen, and well, we'll see. I might just get rid of him. I don't know what to do with him. Actually, you know what? I want to redo my entire shed inside as well, my workshop. So these might be useful to store stuff and to make cabinets out of. Yeah, there you go. That might be it. And I had a pile here of just kindle that was literally just coming from here up to sort of neck high over to this corner there, and I started knocking some of the blocks. You can see them here, here, just to tidy things a bit. But all this wood has now moved to the side, and it's hard to even gauge on the camera, but this quite a lot of wood. This is 5 days worth of just non-stop chopping, and then the stuff that I can't really use I've been burning here. Anyway, so what to do next with this area? So I had to charge my phone here, but essentially, oops, nearly fell. The question here is what to do with this area. Let me get a better angle of here. So this is where my blue shed is. Years and years ago I made this sort of ramp. I knocked out the wall and made the ramp so I can access behind. This has been used for storing wood. I've all this emptied now, and as you can see, I've already started doing work. So my plan for now is to level all this and pour a big slab of concrete over here. I want to preserve those walls because all these walls that you see here are part of the old house. This site, if you see this wall here, this is actually part of what used to be before this house was built. As you can see, my fingers are very dirty. I don't know if you can see here, there's a line here, a clear line and a clear line here. This was the door of what used to be a very traditional old cottage. It's going around here to about here, I'd say. So these were small houses, but they would have housed an entire family. So this wall is probably a few hundred years old, and that's the last remains of what used to be a house. So was this part. This would have been a shed stable part of it. I'd say this was built afterwards, but this section here is the remains. In fact, sorry, this would have been, it looks like this would have been the old shed, because if you can see the thickness of the wall here, and it's the same over there on the other side. So this would have been an old stable part. See these blocks here, they are an indication that they would have had hay. And this part as well. I'm not sure exactly, but anyway, doesn't matter. So it's worth preserving this section. So I'm not sure exactly what I want to do. This is going to be a multi-week, multi-month project, but I think ideally I'd like to maybe extend the roof. Well, this might be too long for one flat roof surface, but I'll have once we have a slab here, concrete poured, probably pillars going up in this corner here, one over there in front of this wall line, and one over there, and then extend the roof this way. So it'll probably mean I'll have to raise that part. It's going to be a bit flatter, so I can actually either park the van or the car underneath. It'll make this area drier. I'm gonna do my best to preserve this wall. I'm gonna have to rebuild it slightly. It should be strong enough. You can see it's really well put together here up to about here, where it's not as well aligned and that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna have to just knock it on the other side, but probably from here, yeah, something like that, and then do what they've done here, which is just have concrete between the stone just for stability. But I'm going to use wooden pillars just like I did over there to support the roof here, and this angle going up. I'm not going to use the wall as support because I don't know how. I mean, it's sturdy, it's big, but it's not going to be, there's no good anchorage really. So I might as well, I prefer having it on a different pillar, and going to about 2 meters up, something like that. So it's not going to reconnect with this section. Although actually, I don't know. I could actually use this slant and then a less steep slant, or have a gutter running here and then do it as a second roof, just going higher up. There's different options, but for now I won't worry too much. So what I'm doing now here is I'm finding just using blocks to level everything. So when I pour concrete, I can just use a plank like that, and just don't know what the word is, but just use those as references for my level. And it's level from this, so I've leveled it over here, and over here, and I use those three, spend a lot of time those three, and then use those three to level then everything else. There might be a slight discrepancy here and there, but it's going to be non-structural anyway, aside from the pillars, so I'm going to have to dig deeper in and just pour some concrete there. But other than that, I'm using this old trailer there. It's fairly rusty, but it'll provide some support, because concrete is good in compression but not in extension, so it'll prevent it from moving too much, especially if we move a car over it. But there you go, that's where I'm at. It's getting dark already, or darker. I'm gonna keep working maybe for another half hour. I'm almost there. I just have to do one in this corner, one here, maybe one here, one here, so I need 3, 4 more blocks, and then it's going to be a matter of kind of fencing, or using planks to prevent the concrete from pouring over. But yeah, do a cast and then making concrete. There's going to be a lot of concrete. I could also do it with a digger and get a crew, pour concrete and that kind of stuff, but that costs money, which I don't have, and also I see it as sort of exercise. So it's good work. I get my workout done for a whole day. It's practical exercise, but it's also a lot cheaper to do it that way. It takes longer. So before you comment or post a mess like that in the comment, because that's happened before. I've had people say, well, why don't you get a crew to pour concrete for you, that kind of stuff. Well, I don't have the money. That's the simple answer, Anyway, let's keep working. This is interesting. I can only work so long in winter, so it's really weekends only, and even that is only a few hours of daylight by the time I get going. So this is what I've done so far. I realize this is going to be a lot of cement and sand, and like I said, I can't really afford to get a big truck and deliver and pour everything here, so I have to do it in sections. So I just sort of segmented everything. I leveled everything with my blocks, and I'm sort of joining the blocks into smaller cells that I'll do one after the other. So it should be all level, it should. I checked and double checked and triple checked, but you know, from having done it before, I know it's not going to be all level, but level enough for me. So I'll just start pouring in small sections, you know, and this is the best way I'm going to be able to get everything done level. Otherwise, I'd have to spend, I don't think I'd be able to do it on my own in a whole day, filling all that and then level everything by hand. It's going to be a nightmare. I'll need a few people, so this is the best way I can do it on my own. Anyway, so there you go. This is where I'm at. I've actually ran out of sand. Well, partly because I've actually decided before I continue to, I wanted to extend my my path up to here. So again, I've done this in sections. You can actually see the line of one of the section here, and then up to here, and this was the last bit. Because whenever I get a new cab, it's actually handy to be able to pull the van either lengthwise or back it up here and empty the cab. I couldn't do that too well with this before, so and also it's a lot cleaner, be able to move those spots here, and it'll give us a lot more space. Ideally I'd love to fill all this area with at least a thinner, not as thick. This is quite high and thick, but this is sloped as well, but just to clean this area altogether and prevent all the weeds and grass from growing, because regularly I have to use some weed killer and plug these by hand, but it's quite an ordeal and just yeah, fairly annoying. This is going to grow so fast when spring hits, and I'll have to pull them by hand. Anyway, that's my problem. So here you go. This is where I'm at. So the next job really is going to be to slowly fill all these sort of cells that I've made, areas, and level everything. And then once this is done, well, I'll be able to start just hiding this area. I'll be able to bring the van in here, and after that we'll start roofing. But that's going to be a long project. Probably gonna last the length this year, because I can only do, you know, one bit at a time. So we'll see. I don't know if I'll keep this video in one big video or section it. But next job is to fill this entire area. Let's keep working. Alright, quick update. I'm almost done here. So as you can see, I've just done just the perimeter, and then just need the inside here to be done. I'm just using whatever I can to fill it. It's non-structural really. Yeah, once I put the roof, there's only going to be 4 support poles, or actually 3, one here and one where I stand, and this is going to be the other supporting bit. So there's not going to be much weight put on this thing, and then I'll have the van just over that, but that'll be plenty sturdy. So that's probably just one afternoon on my own. Actually, one afternoon, but I'd say 3 hours just to finish this, and then well, I need to do small ramp. Probably needs to come to about here. Just use leftover of cement here just to start filling it, but smaller ramp. I'll probably need to extend it to here, so I can actually put a line, one of the poles, to about here. So I might need to actually have to extend that section about to here, and tidy here as well. I need to I'm probably going to pour something here, just a thin layer of cement, maybe tiny this block, because it gets this area, because it gets quite slippery in winter to access the other side. So I'll see what I can do here. It's kind of nice to keep it rough and just old stones. I built that was one of the first thing I made when I arrived here, so we could access the back. I just brought down the one section of this wall but it made it so much easier to access the back. Otherwise you'd have to go around the blue cab. There's not much room there. Anyway, let's keep working. Alright, so we're pretty much done here with the cement. I've done a few things, so obviously, you know, you can see all the patches. It's okay, I'm fine with it. I'll probably paint that at some point and maybe resurface it with some just leveling compound. But for all intents and purposes, this is perfect to drive this guy over there. I've sort of redone the ramp as well and just filled it as best as I could. So it's easier for us to push a wheelbarrow, because it was just so uneven. So the stones are still showing, but it's a lot flatter, and I've kept it rough as well, so there's actually some grip, because it was actually getting slippery, quite slippery in winter. I had some old stones that I picked up at a beach we like to go to, and just put them there. Anyway, so well, we'll probably need to let that cure for a few months before I do any work on it. Next week I should be able to drive the van over it anyway. I can walk on it now. And here now I've stored a lot of stuff. There's the cement mixer and the wheelbarrows and the bikes and all the garden stuff. Our wood is here. We'll go through it slowly. But this is much cleaner, much tidier, and it'll make a great project. So I think the next job will be to just break those parts. These are cement sides, the very old style. So I'm gonna break this. Actually, the next part will be to put the pillars up, find the right height, put 3 pillars here, join them together, and then break those sides, remove that roof entirely, and then start making a new frame for this long flat roof, or slanted roof. But this is probably a job for sometime in spring, when it's going to be easier to be up there. For now, yeah, I think this video is going to end here. Apologies for all the wind. We're going to end this video here. This is part 1 of well, another shed project. This was a cool one actually to do over the winter, and I'm glad the winter days were quite mild, and I was able to do this. Folks, thank you for watching, and well, stay tuned for the next part coming sometime.